just can't hold my breath any longer in this world. Especially with these people calling their cruelty as their kindness. Every time I tried, I got tired and I'm tired of pretending I'm not. I am Durga and I was victimized throughout my life to conceal the injustice happened to me because I'm alleged of having lost my virginity, my character along with the fame of my family because I was unable to run out of the cowshed when 3 boys were busy showing their masculinity. Straws all around my hair, blood stains on the outer portion of my kurta, diluted with my handful tears, and a vagina which was no more virgin for the guy whom I was supposed to marry. That's how I stood in front of my mom when she opened the door. After that, all I could see was a loud scream which muted even before it came out of my mom's throat. Starting and stumbling, she then held my hand, took me inside of the house and turned off all the lights in the house except of the halls. Soon I could see was all my family members gathered around me, except for my 9-year-old younger brother and cousin, who were locked up in the storage that night. 13 years old me, who was clueless of blood flowing out of his vagina a couple of days ago, was now asked a lot of many questions, many of which I couldn't even answer, many of which I didn't even understand. That is why that day, that particular night, all I did was stay hushed, stay silent. That was all I could do. Till the date, I don't know what they interpreted of my silence. I was just asked to go to the bed. After they cleaned me up with some gangazol and some fresh water. Whole night, I couldn't sleep. Something that was striking me time and again was the imagination of how the day after was going to be. Though I didn't sleep that whole night, the very next morning I pretended I did. I faked waking up and went downstairs just to see everything going contrary to what I expected, what I imagined. Dirty spots on the inside being covered up with flowers and bouquets, dark places on the outside being lighted up with LEDs, and fake smiles being covered up on every family members, my uncle, my aunt, my mom and my dad. All of them who were depressed the last night. And before even I could express how blown I was, my dad came to me just to whisper in my ear that the end of my sari was getting tied in a knot to the soul of the guy I even hadn't met before. To be honest, that night that I was raped, I didn't expect any sort of kindness from those 3 guys who were busy showing their masculinity. Though I pretended I did, and I begged for it with my knees down on the floor. But I was quite sure that I was getting that from my family, from my father, from my mother. But today, 17 years later, I feel I was wrong. As the dreams of my 17-year-old daughter are being crushed as mine was. Her silence is being used as a scapegoat to deprive her from the justice as I was. Her immaturity being used as the armor to protect the fame of this unkind family as mine was. That is why today I quit and so does my daughter. That's it. That was all that I found today in the bed of my sister, who was hanged quite 12 days ago. In all these 12 days of mourning, today what I feel is all anger and hate. Anger and hate toward myself, my family, my father, my mother, her husband, her father-in-law, her mother-in-law. I feel self-disgusted. I feel disgusted over my parents. Probably the first one who feel disgusted over his mom and his dad. Probably the first one to be ashamed of his mom and his dad. I am quite proud that I am one of the first to admit that my mom and my dad did something wrong. The world has evolved, and so have we. The world has evolved so peacefully. But today I realize that our thoughts, our perceptions never got into the same pace as we did. The night my sister was raped, even the cows that were tied in that cowshed would have feelings, would have thought, would have tried, would have cried for their own selves. But my father, my mother didn't. And today I ask myself, are we weak or do we pretend to be weak? Was I weak or did I pretend to be weak? And I asked myself the answer like 17 years before, I was weak. I was immature enough to do anything, to go ask anything to my parents, like why The sister with whom I played Bhadakuti a day ago was getting tied in a knot with my vena. I could have, but I was immature enough to ask anything. But today, after 17 years, I was mature enough and I didn't speak. And that makes me, the guy, need to be blamed. Just for a random story, I always used to ask my grandpa when I was a child why he used to keep a Armoured 895 in the top right corner of his bed with 3 bullets still on fire. And every time he answered me the same answer, for the right time and the right scene. And today I feel this is the right time and I'm the right scene. The world has changed and so should we. But if people like you don't change, people like me will change. Either they turn into a Mahatma or a psychopath like me who is going to kill his family, turn the rest of their body in the sacks and going to shoot myself afterwards. Thank you. That is me, Aryan Jaiswal from BCEA 077. I hope you felt it.